Hello, friends. Well, I'm getting very excited. You know, we had warm weather this week, and then all of a sudden it's getting cold again, and it is winter. It is still January. Hopefully, that little groundhog is not going to see a shadow because I'm ready. I'm already ready to go fishing, um, and I'm getting ready because I love fishing in the evenings in a nice June high tide evening, fishing for with shrimp patterns. Fly fishing with shrimp patterns is so exciting. They're almost like trout. They're almost become those stripers become almost like trout, sucking those shrimp right off the surface. And so we're going to tie us up what we call a popping shrimp. It's a really nice little foam fly that's easy to tie, easy to cast, and it works. So let's get to the vise and tie us up one. This is a very simple fly to tie, and you know what? It is going to be a killer come June. So let's get to it. It's very simple. The first thing we're doing, I'm using a little bit longer shanked hook. I'm using Danville's flat wax nylon white. I'm going to put a little few eyes on it. I'm using some of these eyes from Runzetti. I'm going to use a little Steve Farb fibers, S&F fibers. I'm going to use some chenille, white chenille. And for the little legs, I'm going to use some grizzly hackle. So let's get to it. And of course, the foam is going to be the shellback. This is a popping shrimp, and so it's meant to be on the surface. I cut the foam already into a piece about the thickness of the gape of the hook. So let's just put it on. Start. First thing I do is I'm going to take a little Steve Farb fibers. Some of this. And nice healthy clump. I'm going to be trimming these, so you don't have to be super neat about it. I'm going to give the body a little bit. Right up. And tie that down just like that. Gonna tie on my eyes. Now, the eyes are really for the fisherman, not really for the bass. I really don't think these really matter on shrimp patterns, but they look good. Let's jazz it up a little bit. And I want to try to match the length on both sides. Yeah. I can give them a little pull. So they stick out a little bit. Come to the back. First thing I'm going to do is tie in my chenille, but I'm going to tie it in backwards. And then I'm going to take a nice, long, webby feather. Yeah, that looks good. Nice long, and I'm going to clean off all these little fuzzy things on the bottom. And I'm going to tie it in by the tip. So what I do is I actually and I'm going to tie it backwards. And I'm going to bring my thread forward. I'm going to start wrapping my chenille forward. And I'm going to tie it off. I'm going to spiral wrap my, get my hackle pliers. I'm going to spiral wrap my legs here. And tie it off. I'm going to take my foam and I'm going to give it a little point in the front. I'm going to tie it in right on top. Right on top of the eyes. And then I'm going to spiral wrap it and wiggle my thread so I don't trap too many fibers. I'm going to get down here, tie it off, tie it underneath, do a whip finish. The thread. I'm gonna trim up my little tail there. And take this out of the vise. Get a nice long scissor and cut it at an angle. Now this looks like a little poppin' shrimp. When you work this along the sod banks in June, dropping in the evening on a dropping tide, high dropping tide, especially if it's a moon tide, just fish this around the sod banks and the drains, and they explode on this. So tie up some, pray for warmer weather, and pray that the groundhog doesn't see his shadow. And we'll see you next week. Tie lines, everybody.